What's up everybody, Fortexfiend here, and welcome back again to my channel with another video on SD Gundam G Generation Eternal. I've been talking a lot about the Gacha units that just recently came out in the start of the half anniversary for this game. However, we're going to take a little detour and show a little bit of love to two of the free units that you can currently earn in-game, because they're actually quite good for free units. Now, before I go ahead and talk about these two units, you guys know the drill. If you enjoy what you see on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, like or dislike, and comment down below if you've gotten these two units from the current Fierce Enemy Assault and what you guys think about these units so far. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Shining Gundam Super Form first, because that is one of the free units that you can earn, and we're going to take a look at it at its max upgrade. Now, stat-wise, it's pretty solid. When it comes to supporter units, though, definitely the priority is being able to inflict those debuffs, but stat-wise, it's not bad. If we take a look at its abilities, it has max energy increase, it has a vigor condition, which gives it a little bit more attack as long as its vigor is max or higher, and it has a little bit of increased mobility, which is pretty solid. And then in terms of its weapons, it has an AoE attack that has just one ammo. However, if you take a look at it here, the range that it covers, or the area of effect, is actually pretty good. It has absolute hit, and it has damage taken from special weapons up by 20%. And again, a lot of the stronger attacks are special weapons, so you inflict this debuff on multiple enemies, and then you have like your main attacker using its special attack. It's a lot of damage that you're going to be racking up there. And then not only that, but it also does have Shining Finger Sword, which is its signature move. This one inflicts a defense down of 30%, which for a free SSR is not bad. It's very, very good. I like it. You know, 30% is nothing to laugh at. I know that we've seen better with UR units, but again, this is free, so it's fantastic for those of you that are a little bit more light spenders or are looking for more units to use, and you don't necessarily have all of the UR units at your disposal. Okay. On top of that too, we also have a ton of tags that this unit represents. Alternative, Gundam, Protagonist, Unstoppables also on there. And also recently we got a ship for Ace unit if you manage to pull that limited ship. So this unit definitely has a lot of flexibility, and you definitely want to use them with a strong supporter type pilot that comes from G Gundam. We just got a content drop for G Gundam in terms of the second part of the story, so you could figure out who you want to use there, or if you manage to pull one of the SSR pilots from the banner, which again, I did not forget about those. I'm going to make a video dedicated to those SSRs. You could decide who you want to use there. But all in all, I do think this is a fantastic supporter unit. For a free unit, I think it gives Wing Gundam Zero a run for its money, because we talk a lot about that particular SSR supporter because it's very good, very mobile, has AoE, also has good debuffs, but I think this one gives it a run for its money. And it definitely does hit harder compared to Wing Gundam Zero. So very, very solid unit. Now, the second unit that I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, is actually super, super good for a free unit. So this is going to be the Byarlant Custom 02. So it's an attacker type unit, which attacker type units, we love them. We love using our SP coins of them because they benefit the most from that, because you want your damage output for your damage dealers to be as high as possible. If you take a look at its attack, right? Well, first of all, let's take a look at its abilities. It has increased attack by 10%, and it has a conditional one where if its HP is full, it increases its attack by 20%, which is crazy for a free unit. And then afterwards, it has an HP regen, which is helpful because in case you do take some damage, you can recover a little bit of HP there. And I did take a look at the Social Age page to see where this unit's particular attack stats ranks in terms of the SSR attackers, and I took into consideration both the free SSR attackers, the ones that we've gotten from events, and also the ones we get from the Gacha. And if we factor in its passive, this particular free SSR attacker has one of the highest attack stats in the game with the SSR attacker unit. So it's very, very impressive. Not only that, but its terrain capability is pretty solid. We've seen better, but at least it has atmospheric, which, you know, when we come across some of those stages that are atmospheric, we're like, oh shoot, you know, half my team can't be used. Well, this unit can be used for that. It has shield defense from the mechanism, which is always awesome. You know, giving it a way to mitigate a little bit of damage. And if you take a look at its abilities, it's simple, but it's great. First of all, it's Beam Cannon, which is its best move. It has a range of 5, which is always awesome. It has a respectable power at 5,160. Not the highest for a free unit, but again, the range is really, really good for that. And it also has an HP condition where the higher your remaining HP, the greater the weapon power. So if you keep this thing at range, or you use a pilot that can increase its range or something like that, this unit is going to be dealing, a pretty considerable amount of damage for a free unit. It also does have long rifle, which is a pretty standard attack. It has a range of 4 though, which I always like that range. And finally, its long beam saber does have a weapon effect, which has increased critical damage by 25%. So that's something that you can also consider right there. And if we take a look at its tags, it's not nearly as good or flexible as the Shining Gundam Superform. However, it is part of UC. A lot of pilots that have that. It is also part of EFSF, which one of the pilots that I know you could definitely use with this unit is Ko Oraki, because his EX passive or his EX ability requires him to have a unit of EFSF. So he's like one free pilot that we earned that you could definitely use on this. It has Unstoppable, and it also does have Ace unit. So I think it is this unit is definitely worth it. And if you are farming this event, try to get a copy, try to fully max limit break it. Now the question is, which unit, or are these units worth using your SP coins on? When it comes to attackers, I think it's definitely worth it. Attackers are going to be the ones that are carrying you for the most part, because they're the ones that are going to be dishing out a bulk of your damage, and you want those increased stats for your attackers. So if you want to SP coin this particular unit, I say you go for it. I did so myself. Now, when it comes to SP coins, I know that if you guys have favorites, I always say enjoy the game first and put the favorites over the quote-unquote meta or whatever. But from a objective perspective, I think this unit is worth it. Now, in terms of our supporter, which is going to be the Shining Gundam Super Mode, should you SP coin? Now, when it comes to supporters and defenders, I think supporters, you want to be cautious about which ones you want to consider SP coining. You want to make sure that they got good range on their skills, good debuffs before even considering that. Wing Gundam Zero is one where a lot of people I know SP coined it. I know I did too. One that I did recommend was that Cubile that we got from the event, where we got that Pli 2 or Puru 2, however you say her name. That's one that you could consider because of the amount of range it had, the debuffs it had. And I think Shining Gundam is one that you can consider. However, you always want to prioritize, and at least from my experience and opinion, for SP coins, prioritize your attackers first, because the stats will matter, more damage, and then afterwards go with your defenders, and then afterwards go with your supporters. And with supporters, you really want to make sure it's worth it. You really want to make sure they got the range, they got the vast array of skills, they got good abilities, and also they got good debuffs. But all in all, guys, both of these units are fantastic. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Did you guys build them up? Did you guys SP coin either one of them? Have you been using them on the content that we have so far? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, and stay blessed, everybody.